Well, on the last TNC podcast, we said that Wilshere will be at the wheel. You watched the TNC podcast for trusted, reliable information. Jack Wilshere will not be the next Norwich City head coach.
Surely people don't watch it for reliable information, Jack.
Well, I don't know. I mean, we've got form. How are you?
Yeah, right.
It's a heat wave in the UK.
Yeah.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah. Don't have a clue what's going on inside the four walls of Norwich City Football Club, but there you go.
Ben Knapper has done a brilliant job at just keeping everyone very much on their toes.
Yeah. Bit entertaining.
We've got lots to discuss today. We're going to have a bit of a fun podcast today because obviously there's no... Yeah, I think so.
Good, thank God for that.
We'll see. We're going to be discussing all of the latest from Ben Knapper's interview last week that made some headlines.
Yep.
We're going to be rating the entire Norwich City squad from this year, 1 to 10. So stick about for that. And of course, loads and loads of Twitter questions. Last week, when we were going through our little planning, we were like, do we do a podcast? There's probably not going to be too much to talk about. Jack Wilshere will be in charge. We can review that and then we'll move on. Ben Knapper comes out and talks, and my goodness, there were some bombshell lines in there.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it?
What have you made of it all?
Well, obviously the main takeaway is Wilshere's not at the wheel.
Did you see that coming?
No. I honestly thought he was going to give it to Jack. I think it's the right decision. I don't know how you feel about it.
Well, I'm just glad because there's too many Jacks if he were to get the job. It would get very confusing. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
I am surprised.
But pleasantly surprised?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it just throws everything back up in the air again. I think the reason it caught me off guard was because I didn't see the sacking coming of Johannes. And then I kind of just about got my head around that. And then I was like, okay, well, I know the next head coach now. It's Jack Wilshere. I just about got my head around that. And then it's like, bang, there's another curveball for you to bat away from Knapper. The whole reason I thought... Well, there were two reasons why I thought Wilshere was going to get the job. Number one being he was so punchy in the press, Jack Wilshere. He was like, I'm ready for it. Yeah. I'm ready to take the team in the Championship. I didn't think he'd come out and say all that stuff if he didn't know pretty sure that he was going to get the job. Obviously, that chat hadn't been had. Number two, I didn't think Ben Knapper would want to lose Jack Wilshere. And Wilshere had made it pretty clear that if he didn't get the job, then he's going to try and find one elsewhere. So he's lost his good mate at Norwich City. It's not been officially announced yet, but I'm pretty sure that will happen.
Yeah.
After our form recently, then he'll probably end up staying. But I think Wilshere probably goes. So that's an interesting dynamic. I think that's probably best for everyone in this case. But yeah, it did catch me off guard. I thought it was a done deal.
We said, didn't we, Jack, that it was gonna be a case of he's either gonna get it or be out the door. It's still not normal for a head coach to come in and just sort of accept having anyone around him. Normally they bring their own coaching staff with them, and that's why it's so expensive to hire and fire managers, because it's not just one person, it's a team of 5, 6, 7, 8, more. So yeah, it's an interesting one. I do think it's right. You know how I thought it wasn't the right decision to get Jack Wilshere at the wheel? Because I was thinking in the shower the other day, and I was selling it to myself. And when you have to sell something to yourself, where you go, well, a little bit. You use this voice. You go, well, a little bit all right. Yeah, a bit. Well, you use that tone.
Yeah. Were you talking to yourself?
I was washing my pits. Going, well, he could bring some Arsenal under 18s. Yeah, no, it's not really.
It did always feel. It felt like the easy option with Jack Wilshere, and ultimately, I kept coming back around to the thought of ultimately Johannes has failed at the assignment because of, I think, a lack of experience, and there are other factors as well. But I think the lack of Championship experience, the lack of English kind of football league experience, really hindered him. So to then bring in someone with even less experience felt like a strange dynamic. But then equally, I was doing that thing of trying to convince myself, I think he had buy-in from the players. Yep. He had a name in the game, and I think that holds weight, even if you agree or don't. And ultimately, I think we could have got a reaction out of the players, but he did get a reaction out of those players the last couple of games. So yeah, I was kind of ready for it. I wasn't filled with confidence at the thought of him getting the job.
I was
but equally, I was like, okay, I'm going to get behind this.
Yeah, but see, what did you say? You went, okay.
Yeah.
You're selling it to yourself. You're selling it to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. I think Ben Knapper's made and do you know what? Ben Knapper's come under a lot of scrutiny naturally, and arguably rightly so, with the level of decisions that he has to make. It comes natural within the role. But I would say fair play to him, because it would have been a very predictable, acceptable. I think that most Norwich City fans would have gone, yeah, all right, get that. Obviously, it is a bit of a gamble, and maybe he's seen that. It was a all chips on red situation, because we cannot underestimate this next hire enough. Like, this isn't just hiring another Norwich City manager. This is huge because of the sheer amount of turnover we need to have within the squad. So you need a manager that's going to attract the calibre of players that we need to genuinely progress, not meander around mid-table. Eek. So look, it's a worry. So this is big. So Ben Knapper's got a big decision to make, and ultimately hiring Jack Wilshere, it might have got us a certain way, but with the level of experience, and this isn't me doing Jack down, just doesn't have the experience.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
And that would have been a really difficult conversation for Ben.
I think one day he will be a great head coach, just like Johannes.
Yeah.
I just think right now Norwich City need a steady, more experienced pair of hands.
And it was Ben Knapper in his interview with the press kept saying, like, the context Norwich are in at the moment. He kept saying the context. And I think that's important, because ultimately,
I think he's right.
Jack Wilshere could go to another Championship club right now, smash it, and that could well happen. And I actually don't see a world where that. There is a world where that happens, but the situation Norwich City are in at the moment, I think it requires a bit more finesse and a bit more nuance. And fair play to Knapper, because telling a good mate of his you're not getting the job after him publicly coming out and saying, I think I'm ready.
And bringing him from Arsenal. And bringing him from Arsenal as well. Like, let's not understate this decision.
And that journey would have been sold as come here, work in the house, and then have a head coach role.
Yeah.
And that's ultimately not happened, because it's all been
brutal.
fast tracked. But yeah, tough for Wilshere.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fair play to Knapper. I mean, let's take a look at the short list of head coach names. Now we've just taken the sort of betting market, so take this with a huge hand of salt. And I'm looking at this, and I'm trying to.
You buzzing?
Well, I don't think any of them get the job. I don't know. Maybe they do. Ralph Hasenhüttl is favourite.
Do you know?
Anyway, let me quickly spin through.
Okay, cool.
Russ Martin,
Yep.
Gary O'Neill,
Yep.
Tom Cleverley, Liam Manning, and then it gets really rogue. Paul Lambert, 12-1.
Come off.
Marty Cifuentes, 12-1. I wouldn't mind a bit of Marty Cifuentes. Steve Cooper, 16-1. I'd have a bit of Steve Cooper. 25-1. Alex Tete.
It's me. It's
Do you reckon
Tete.
someone's just gone through, like, okay, we'll take a couple of the current names.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Alan Kirbishley's not on there. A couple
Classic.
of current names, and then let's dip in a bit of Norwich City history.
Yeah.
Let's go for
A former
Alex
player.
Tete and Paul Lambert.
Yeah, I could see that.
Any of those names standing out to you?
I'll tell you what, though, Alex Tete for vibes.
Vibes-based hire.
Oh, do you know what would really... Right, this is now serious. I would love it if Tete came in as a first-team head coach. Not head coach, sorry. First-team coach.
An assistant.
Yeah.
Yeah?
First-team coach is, I believe, the title, isn't it?
Okay, sorry.
Not assistant manager, as it used to be.
at the
In the
other-
good old days, it used to just be an assistant manager.
Yes.
And now it's first-team coach. I'd have Tete in as first-team coach.
Right, okay. So who would you have as the actual coach?
Oh, I don't know, but looking at those names...
There's two. Well,
Are you up for a bit of... You up for a bit of Ralphie?
Hasenhüttl, I think he's just been at Wolfsburg, hasn't it?
Any interest?
I don't. Maybe. I mean, that would be a big name hire.
It would.
There's a few names on there. I like the thought of Liam Manning. I like the thought of Marty Cifuentes and
Liam Manning's at Bristol City, isn't he?
and Steve Cooper. I like Steve Cooper.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I'm actually looking at that, and if I were to have 50p on it,
Right.
I'd have 50p at 16-1 on Steve
No,
Cooper.
you wouldn't.
I would.
No, you wouldn't.
I would.
Really?
Yeah.
But what Ben Knapper has said in his media recently, last week, was the head coach needs to be someone that is able to play the style of football that we have already developed, right?
Yes.
That's essentially what he said.
Yeah, no, of course.
So that's not Steve Cooper.
Well, no, maybe not.
That's not Steve Cooper. It is Liam Manning.
It is Paul Lambert. That would be a real
Tom
story,
Cleverley
wouldn't it?
can't see it.
No.
Cannot see that one.
No.
Gary O'Neill, hard no.
Right. Okay.
As in
So take that as a yes
not as in sorry, forgive me, not as in I'm saying hard no. I'd be all right with it, I think, but I just know, yeah,
it's been a weird process, isn't it, Chris? Because every single one of these decisions that have led us to this point have been just out of nowhere.
Russ Martin, is he still lighting your fire?
Oh yeah, but I've kind of like that's almost feels unattainable. So I've given up on the dream.
Okay, but he's not going to get the Leicester job now. Sean Dyche is in for that one.
So I mean, I'd love Russ Martin.
Would you?
I think he's the perfect fit.
I know, but would the Norwich fans give him time? I don't think they would.
What I was about to say, Chris, was with all of these names,
Yep.
I've not seen any like media, any rumours, nothing.
No.
The only thing I've seen was from sort of like some tin
So
pot
that-
establishment saying that Tom Cleverley might be.
So that means one of two things. One, Norwich City are doing an amazing undercover behind the scenes job, bringing in the managers at midnight, making sure no one sees them, or they haven't even started it yet.
No, I think I think what will probably ultimately happen is we find someone from the second tier of Germany again.
But should we be doing that?
Well, it's worked before, Chris. I don't know. I think this is.
See, hey, what'd you do with your voice again there?
Well, look, I think
it will
this
be
is,
some bloke from, I don't know, the Belgian third tier.
This
won't
is
it?
this is a big hire for Ben Knapper. I keep saying you can get one wrong, and people don't mind too much.
Yeah.
You can't get two wrong.
Or drastically.
If it goes wrong for the next one, it's not only the head coach's role up for debate. It's Ben Knapper's role. This is a huge summer.
It is
Recruitment.
Yeah. We've said it for
selling,
a while.
If Ben Knapper had a nice sort of week away on a Greek island planned, think again. This is a.
He won't be going on holiday. Marty Cifuentes.
I like Marty Cifuentes. Marty Cifuentes. Yes.
You up for a bit of Marty?
Yeah. Look, I'm looking at all of those names.
Which is the one that gets you going the most out of those names?
Russ Martin. It has been. It will be. I just don't see a world where he comes here.
What, even after he slagged off your footballing ability?
Yeah, I mean, I'd play it right back for him if he needed some help. Who would you like the look of? Who ticks all the boxes?
I tell you, my name. Here's a name for you, right?
Oh, no.
Here's the name I want. At the minute,
is he on the list?
I'm each day going back to the shower again, washing the pits. I'm changing my mind all the time. Each day, I'm changing my mind.
Okay.
Here's the name I thought about in the shower this morning: Danny Roll.
Danny Roll. Yeah,
Attainable?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But the dare to dream. The Yanks are in town. Give him a proper contract. Put some money around him. He might like a more stable club in Norwich City, Danny Roll.
I'm glad you went Danny Roll. I thought you were going to go like Xabi Alonso, who's just left Leverkusen.
Am I in La La Land?
Yeah, I think so.
You don't think there's no chance of Danny Roll?
I'd be very surprised.
But where else would he go?
I don't know.
Who else would
is he
take him?
taking a mid-table championship team? Is he leaving a mid-table championship team and going to another one?
Oh, did Wednesday finish above us in the end?
Probably.
Surely not.
Well, they were
didn't, did they?
in and around us, yeah.
I would love Danny Roll.
Look,
do you know what? Do you know what I want? Someone with a bit of... I'm not going to say that the word I thought, but someone with a bit about them. You're in the room. You're in the room and you go, ooh, what's going to happen here? But I like that. We need someone that demands respect, authority, doesn't take shit. Almost like, I want a bit of like... I want a bit of ping pong with the media as well. Let's have a bit of give and take. Come on. Bosh. Have it. Come on. Just a bit of passion. I want to see the manager grabbing people.
But didn't Johannes have that? And that's what got him in a bit of hot water.
No, he didn't have that.
No?
He was asking Paddy for a game. Paddy, let's play a game. No, let's not play a game. All joking apart, I did. I really like Johannes. I really like Glenn as well. It's a shame it didn't work out. But do you know what I mean? I want a manager to be in the room and be like, woof, he's in the room.
And I think, we do joke, but this is an exciting project for a manager. There is money.
Yeah.
There is a foundation of a squad. I mean, there are some championship teams you look at and go, well, good luck.
Yeah.
There is a foundation here. There's good facilities. Yeah. There's cash. There's a good fan base. Good stadium.
Yeah.
A team with expectations of a top six.
Did you
finish.
say training facilities? Did you say veg patch?
Yeah, soccer bot.
Soccer bot?
Yeah. Who likes the soccer bot the most?
Only the second in Europe. I wonder why.
Mate Jurisic. Ben Knapper kept saying he's going to be like a new signing, so that's exciting. They've already got a new signing in the door.
Boom.
Look, I see a world where
none of those names
make it. The next hire is massive for Norwich City.
Okay.
Let's get into rating the squad from last season because we say we've got a good foundation. So
can I just say before we start this, I know right. I just have to add in here right. This is not personal. I know that some of the players watch this. I'm sorry in advance. It's not been a good season. And I think it's worth adding that some of these ratings are actually more of a reflection of the team around you, not just necessarily them. Have I been a bit of a politician there?
Yeah, a little bit. I always love 1 to 10s because ultimately I think journalists, it's kind of like a bit of a side gimmick to fill some kind of column inches, and they probably don't take it overly seriously, and players take it very seriously.
Okay, are we going to take it seriously?
I think we will take it seriously as can be in a relatively quick fire fashion.
Okay.
I've got the squad in front of me. We will run through the names. Please do play along at home, ranking from 1 to 10 of our players.
Yeah.
George Long.
Do we have to start?
It's the first name on the list,
It's
mate.
not.
It is George Long.
Why is Angus Gunn not first?
He's not even here anymore.
Well, no, we're doing it on this season's squad, yeah?
George Long is the first name on the list.
I'll let you lead. Oh, God.
3.
3?
Yeah.
3?
Yeah.
Tell me what's made him a 3.
What, in a good way or a bad way?
In a good way.
Saved the penalty against Borough?
Yeah, what? So that counts as 3 marks?
Mate.
3 whole marks?
Well, mate, below a 3 is like really bad. He's a good professional to have around the dressing room. New contract. They obviously see something. Well, mate, you've got your own opinion. You haven't got to agree with me. George Long.
I'm sorry, I'll say 2.
Angus Gunn.
Just seriously, he has saved a penalty, but the data this season, the stats, look, great guy, nice guy, really do wish him well. Really do. But he has been shockingly poor when he's been called upon this season.
Yeah,
he saved 1 penalty, and you're giving him a 3.
He made that good save against Bristol City after he fumbled it. Remember that one?
Oh, yeah, where he parried it straight into there, yeah. I do actually feel quite bad.
Mate, this isn't
I
quick
hate
fire.
this. No, I know, but I hate doing it. It's not nice.
And this is why I enjoy doing it with you.
The fact that we started with George Long doesn't really...
Angus
anyway. It's not been a good season for Angus. He knows that. He's had little to no protection in front of him. I'd say... Maybe a 6.
Yeah, I'd say 6.
Maybe a 6, sadly.
I think those contract kind of renewal / no conversation, I think that hovered over him. And I think it naturally would. You've got a young family, your future is up in the air, you're not quite sure where you stand. It's obviously going to affect performance. I think if
also a couple of spells out on the sidelines.
Like it just I'm sad that it kind of ended in that way for Angus because I think everyone's view is slightly, not bad, but just slightly tinted. We didn't see the best Angus Gunn this season.
I agree with that.
Last season, he was like the Championship's best goalkeeper,
I
would say, or certainly one of.
Yeah, I agree.
And this season, it was like shots that you just expect him to save. He wasn't saving. And I think there was a lot of noise around Angus, and that's a shame.
But
I'll give him a 6
but
as well.
little to nothing in front of him for the vast majority of the season. The big issue this season has been the defence.
Vicente Reyes.
4. 3, 4.
Really? I don't think he's been that bad, has he?
Well, how many goals did he let in the games that he's played?
Quite a lot. Do you see him as a future?
Better, he's been better than George Long.
Do you see him as a future Norwich City goalkeeper?
I think. Do I? I hope so.
I'm glad he got given the chance.
I hope so. Who was I speaking to the other day that's really rated him? In fact, I can't say. But someone that's extremely qualified to talk about goalkeepers.
Me?
Told me Vicente Reyes, they like Vinny, they're impressed by Vinny, he's got a future, So, look, the reason why I've given him that rating is we just didn't see enough of him. He's still raw, he's still young, he's still growing. So that's why I've given him that rating.
Dan Barden, we'll put a non-applicable next to Dan Barden.
We can't give ratings to players that we've not seen play.
Shane Duffy.
Ooh, interesting. What do you think? You lead.
I'm going to give Duffy I'm going to give him a 7.
Do you know
I think for the most part this season, in terms of if we were handing out a most improved player, I think Duffy would get it. I think he for 75% of this season was was reliable
Yes.
and solid.
Yes.
I think that Johannes system is incredibly demanding of a centre back, and I think actually he adapted his game quite well. I think for the most part led quite well. There were, being quite public, there were a couple of hiccups during that campaign, but for someone that was completely sort of written off at the start of the season, I think he came in and did a pretty
had a lot of
job.
stuff going on. Obviously, he knows. We all know the stuff going on behind the scenes as well. That's something to go into a season with on your shoulders. And yeah, I think ever present, one of the only present names on the team sheet in defence for the vast majority of the season. I'm with you. 7.
Okay, Super Jack Stacey. Ole, ole.
Ooh, well.
Is he a right winger? Is he a right winger?
Well, now Jack Wilshire's not here.
Stacey must have been going, oh, brilliant. I'm now first choice right winger. Oh, fuck, my mate's gone.
I'm between maybe a 6 to 7.
Yeah, I'd say a 6. I don't think he had
but
enough.
That's just because he's just not played as much because Kellum was in the team, right? But but honestly, energy up and down the line, crossing got better towards the end of the season as well, which I was happy with.
I did like him in that more advanced role. I don't think that's a long-term plan for Jack Stacey, but look, I think he's one of those types that is good to have around the place, and I think when he comes in, I don't think he's the best defender in the world, but my goodness, he'll bring energy.
But ultimately, one of those players that you can't give a high rating to any of those. I'm going to contradict myself straight away soon, I'm sure. You can't really give massively high ratings to Norwich City defenders, can you?
We'll give Stacey 6.
Okay, fine.
Ben Cresceno.
Well, he's just been injured for most of the time.
Should we just say that for everyone? He's just been injured.
He's just been injured, isn't he? Really nice lad. I think, again, has definitely got a bright future. I'll go 6.
Yeah, I think a 6 for Crescendo.
If he hadn't got injured, I might have ranked him higher.
There was one game, it was the FA Cup game against Brighton, where I went, oh, you look like painfully exposed here.
Oh. Yeah, but mate, it's coming up against...
Yeah, I know. But that was the game where I was like, God, you've got so much to learn against a like Premier League opposition.
Yeah, but we're not there anymore.
I know, but just let me have my time.
Come on then.
But on the whole, I think he came in and did a pretty good job.
Right, okay.
It was a no risk signing.
Yeah.
And for most of the time he played, he did an okay job.
Okay, I'm going to give you here in my palm a reality pill. Okay. Take the reality pill.
Lovely, yeah.
That is what you and most other Norwich City fans need to take going into next season. We're comparing. Ben's come up against a Premier League.
I'm just using it as a litmus test.
Yeah. Well, I'm just making a point off the back of your point.
Thanks.
Okay. And the other thing, Norwich fans are saying, "Oh, we need to sign a manager that's able to keep us up in the Premier League." You're in La La Land. We're absolutely nowhere near it.
Well, we won't be getting Kieran McKenna.
Don't worry about the bloody Premier League. We need to be worried about touching the playoffs with one pinky finger. We're nowhere near it. Reality check.
Callum Doyle.
Most assists for Norwich City this season.
Is that right?
Most assists for Norwich City this season. I'm sure. I will double check that. I'm going to give Callum Doyle a 7.
7?
Yeah. Let me just check that
stat. Yeah, you're right. 7 assists for Doyle. This is a fascinating assist list.
Come on.
Top, Callum Doyle with 7. Yeah. Second, Jack Stacey with 6. Mark Condes with 6.
Yeah,
Sargent with 5.
Okay. Right, keep going.
What did you give him?
7. You're not listening. What did you give him?
I'll give him a 6.
Okay.
I think Doyle started really strong and then kind of petered off a little bit.
Like them all.
Yeah.
Like them all.
Okay, so he'll get a 6. This will be an interesting one. Jose Cordoba.
6 for me. 6 for me. I was... I think Jose is a classic case of a player comes from abroad, their first season in England, getting up to speed with the tempo, the style of play, the sharpness of it, the physicality of it. And people will be like, that's excuses, Chris. Well, it's not. If you look at most players that come abroad to play in the Championship, because of the level of budget that we're using, it's not the season you would have hoped for. But I'm really still so optimistic about Jose Cordoba. Yeah, I really am.
I think there's. I'm going to file him in the category of there's a player in there.
Yes,
physically looks very good, very intelligent. Yes. I think he's got it. There were just moments when you're like, why have you just done that?
Some great passing as well. Like, again, like, cast your mind back to more the start of the season, where he'd pick the ball up,
and drive.
really drive with it, and then pick the pass. Like, obviously towards the end of the season where it all went wrong, literally all went wrong. He's had some stinkers this season. So has Shane Duffy, by the way.
There were games in there where I've gone, oh, that's just the player we needed.
Yeah.
And then it's that Bristol City away game that really sticks in my mind, where I was like,
that was bad.
Jose, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But I think, as you say,
was it the system? And actually, this is something that Ben Knapper came out with in his media jack, as he essentially said, we believe that a different manager could get more out of our current crop of players. So maybe it was more the system exposing Jose, exposing Shane Duffy. I don't know.
I'm going to give Jose, because I gave Callum Doyle a 6, and I don't think he's been as good as Doyle. I'm going to give Jose Cordoba a 5.5.
Oh, okay.
Next up, future Norwich City captain, Rory McConville.
You love Rory, don't you? You love Rory.
From the cameo performances, a 10.
Okay.
No, I like this guy. I mean, look, we've not really seen enough of him. I think there's again, we'll file him in the category of there's a player in there.
There is not the player that's got you most excited this season has been Rory.
Yeah,
and I've noticed every time you say Rory, you sort of growl, don't you?
He's the type that makes you want to growl. I like McConville. I like him a lot. I don't think we've seen enough of Rory McConville to give him a true.
I'm excited
rating
about Rory as well.
Yeah, I'll give him a. Well, I can't give him.
Go on. Give him. What do you want to give him?
I'll give him a 6.
Ooh.
I'll put him in the Doyle category.
Oh, okay.
Kellen Fisher.
I would say with Kellen, well, look, I had him down as my player of the season, which some people disagree with, but I thought one of the most consistent players this season. Believe statistically as well.
Tough for a defender to win.
One of the highest rated players, possibly. Yeah, but as you say, I think unfortunately for Kellen, being in and amongst that group of players is always going to affect your overall rating. I think, for me, definitely an 8.
Yeah.
Definitely an 8. To break through in the manner that he did, to be as consistent as he was, the tackles, the energy, the desire, the enthusiasm. I love how unassuming he is and how powerful he is in his game. I love Kellen Fisher. I'm so excited to see him next season. And by the way, if he plays as he has done this season, next season, we're going to have a bloody tough job keeping him, I tell you.
I think an 8.
For me, 8. For me, 8, definitely.
I'll go an 8.
Yeah, of course, there's been games where, he's been exposed by the system, again, to use that. But, mate, what a player we've got there.
A good season for Kellen Fisher. And actually, he wasn't on my list of defenders, but Lucian Mojave obviously came in on the other side, and I think if we can keep both of those fit and balance that workload, you've
I'm
got
giving
really...
Lucian is he on that list?
I didn't see him on there. No,
I think he must be on that. Well, Lucian Mojave, let's give him a 7.
He's probably still categorised.
I've been excited about Lucian, and I think again that injury, such a shame, isn't it?
I know. Okay, that's the defenders for now. Kenny McLean.
Kenny McLean. Well. Again, I think Kenny's rating from me will unfortunately be knocked down because of the time out, both in terms of disciplinary, but actually also illness/injury. I think that majorly impacts us this season. Is that Kenny's fault? Well, obviously the disciplinary thing is, but outside of that, it's not.
Well, even the disciplinary thing. I mean, he didn't do a lot.
Actually. Well, hang on. No, didn't he call someone a?
Oh, well, he had that, and then he also had the little...
Oh, the elbow was nonsensical.
Yeah.
Absolutely pathetic. Yeah. So, you're right on that.
6 for Kenny for me.
6, as low as that? I'll go 7, because without him...
He missed so much of the season. I mean, to be fair, he spent a lot of it playing out of position as well. So
I'm going to go 7 for me.
Okay. Emi Marcondes.
I am...
In terms of surprise packages, I think Marcondes is top.
I want to give him an 8, which sounds quite high. It sounds high, and people will go, "What are you saying, Chris?" And obviously you're thinking about towards the end of the season, but I'm thinking about when he came in, the impact he made. I love his experience, which sounds weird, but he has clearly helped those around him. He can pick a pass. He's energetic despite being more experienced. I love the fact that he can whip it. I like him.
Yeah.
I really like Emmy. I like his character as well.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm being a bit generous with an 8. I'll go 7.
7. I think that's fair. I think he delivered in terms of good bits of clever recruitment. Marcondes
free signing, unbelievable. So happy we've extended his deal.
Yeah, another Danish star in the middle of the park, Jakob Sorensen.
I thought you were about to say Schwartau. Jakob Sorensen. Oh God! Right, you lead.
Look, he's one of those that we just did a. I think in terms of...
I know already what you're going to say. He played really well at Watford away.
No, listen. In 50 years, when we're sat down and we're still doing TNC and we do a pointless...
If we're still doing TNC in 50 years, I've got some news for you. I will be dead. I'll be dead 10 years before that.
We're doing a pointless edition of... Have you ever watched Pointless before? You don't have Pointless answers?
Awful.
Title-winning Norwich City players.
Yeah.
Pointless answer will be Jakob Sorensen. He's one of those players where even in 6 years' time, I'm struggling to remember.
I'm not crediting someone. It was a little bit mean. Well, actually, it was very mean, but it did make me laugh. I have to admit. And please, whoever said this, message me. I want to give you credit for it. Someone posted something like it was like Jakob Sorensen obviously won the title, and someone was like. It's like they said something like...
It's like my nan getting credited for winning World War II.
Yeah.
She was there but didn't do a lot.
Anyway, no, seriously, we do need to respect the fact that he won a title.
Good player. No, good person. Was respected in the dressing room. And leaves with my best wishes.
What's your ranking? 4. No way! 4! No way!
We've got him, ladies and
gentlemen. No way!
We've got him. We've got him.
Yeah. He buzzed about the middle of the park against Watford away.
No, he didn't buzz.
I'll go 3. Oh, no, and that's being nice.
Same rating as George Long.
Yes. 3.
My very early...
3.2.
My very early player of the season, Anis Ben Slimane.
God, disappointing season.
It was in the end, wasn't it? Yeah.
Such a shame.
Yeah.
Was really optimistic about it, by the way. That's a shock. You remember when I said Pierre Les Manu? Hey, by the way, before we start the podcast next season, we're going to do our pre-season predictions.
But it's even more fun when you're 4 games into a season. You've got nothing to go off. Yeah. The sun's shining. You've had 3 or 4 pints. You're feeling really merry. And I think I just saw a nice pass from Slimane. And I was like, player of the season.
Anyway, so you're player of the season. What are you ranking him?
4.
Yeah, 4, 5. Yeah. Just
Started
didn't get going.
well and then
Injuries. I think he has the skill set. That the injury just smashed him, didn't it?
Story of the season.
I mean, and since he got his contract, we just didn't see those levels, did we?
We had too many midfielders this season where we were 60 minutes into a game and I was turning around to Craig next to us and going, I didn't realise Slimane was playing. Yeah. That's happened way too much. And I've got new glasses, so I can see what's going on.
And hey, by the way, probably with all of the midfielders at some stage. All of them?
Yeah.
Really? Seriously?
Sorensen just come on, Craig. No, he started. Oh, has he? Oh, right, okay. Liam Gibbs. Probably in the non-applicable section.
Yeah.
Not played enough.
I would actually honestly say that.
A sad moment of the season for me was that hamstring injury.
Fuck.
Brought him back and then 3 minutes. Was that against Plymouth?
I'm gutted for Liam. Liam, sadly, it reminds me of the Louis Thompson case.
Yeah, good shout.
Thompson?
Louis Thompson, yeah.
Louis Thompson. Yeah, real shame with Liam. I still hope it works out for Liam. I think if he can keep fit, he'll do all right for us, and he'll be a really, really good squad player to have around the place.
Yeah.
I don't think we can rate him, can we? No. Sadly.
Marcelo Nunes.
Well, hey, that last game. Whoa. Ooh.
I actually think when we're talking, I've just admitted to myself that we're losing Sargent, so let's put him out of the equation. The Nunes Sargent discussion around who do we really need to keep? I think Nunes is most important. He's really come along this season. The one thing I would say that marks Nunes down half a mark for me, I was disappointed in the drop off towards the end of that
me too.
Johannes
me
reign,
too.
and I thought, come on, mate, like
I agree. I agree.
And you even saw like as soon as Jack Wilshere came in, poof, performance level straight back up. I was like, okay, like we can all not buy into a manager or something, but let's show a bit, and I think that dropped off a little bit.
So what's your ranking?
7.5.
I think I'll go 7. I think Love Mars, one of our most gifted players, brilliant kick taker, just hasn't been as consistent this season, sadly.
Consistency is probably the key, isn't it?
But has provided some great moments this season.
And one of the very few players you see in the Championship that just has the ability to just orchestrate a tempo.
Yeah.
Slow it down, speed it up.
But it's
very rare talent.
But it was during that 10 games that we didn't win under Johannes? Oh, God. Just completely went missing.
Step up.
Yeah.
Need him to step up. Force and Amankwa.
Well, again, we're probably verging on non-applicable, aren't we? But we will rank him.
We will. I think there was enough of him.
Yeah, and do you remember pre-Palace, up to that Palace Cup game, we were thinking, what a player we've got here. Coventry.
Oh, what moment of the season.
And it was, wasn't it? But I will say that's as much as we saw, unfortunately. And I was optimistic given his last performance as well. But again, it was against an already relegated Cardiff side. I'm going to go 6.
I'll stick him in.
I want to give him more.
I'll stick him in. There's a player in their category, 6 as well. I still don't know his position. Like, I don't think he's a right winger. I think he's a midfielder. But he's lightweight. He is a buzzy player.
But after a summer being trained up by Louis Cunningham behind the scenes.
Yeah, we'll see. I like Forster Man.
Yeah, me too. I like him,
and I hope that it comes good.
Yeah,
for him.
me too.
Jacob Wright. Who that was the other thing from Knapper's interview, basically confirming that we'll sign Jacob Wright. By the way,
didn't he say he's like captain material, or he's like a leader, or something like that? I still think they've signed him with the thinking of if Kenny goes, he's the. I still think that.
Well, it'll be a great assistant captain to Rory McConville.
You love Rory.
Rory.
I think Jacob. I want to give him more, but I'm going to go 7.
7. I think that's fair. I think it was a relatively slow start, as to be expected.
Yeah, correct.
Young, hungry, clearly very passionate.
I think next season. I think next season though we could easily be giving him a 9. Wow. Easily.
Onto the forwards, and there's quite a lot of them.
Cool.
Onel Hernandez.
I would say I will have to give him probably. Again, we're just not seeing a lot of him. Impact. Oh God, this is difficult. Of course, he's my mate. It's difficult. I think I'm going to go 5.
5, yeah.
To be honest, because when he came on, the numbers weren't there. I remember pre-season him saying to me, "I'm as fit as I ever have been, working harder than I ever have before." Da 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 da. And then what happened was he got smashed in training and got injured, and that completely threw him off. For me, 5.
5, I think that's fair.
Shame though.
Yeah.
I want to give an L more, of course.
There was that period, I think, I can't remember quite the game. I think it was during that win against Coventry, where he was coming on quite late
he
making
made the
real
assist
impact
for Forson's winner, didn't he?
And I was like, oh, let's see him a bit earlier. And that was the period where I was like, that could have been the kind of resurgence of Onel Hernandez, but never just didn't have with lots of these players, never got in a flow.
Yeah. I agree with that.
With injuries and selection and system.
I agree with that.
Look, I loved watching Onel play.
Yeah.
He was exciting. He was a go on then type player.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a 5's fair. Josh Sargent. I'll jump in earlier.
Come on.
9 for me.
I know, but
I mean, when fit, unplayable. Like levels above. Anyway.
I know, but we've ranked players.
Yeah, no, and I'll rank
lower.
Him. Yeah, fine, 9.
So you're going against because you've ranked
if he was
players
fit
lower
the whole
because
season,
of
it would have been a 10.
Well, of course.
Yeah, so I'll go.
But he
9.
hasn't been.
Yeah, so 9.
Okay, all right.
Like not only levels above any striker we've got at the club, levels above anyone in the Championship.
Hey, no, I'm with you, and I'm not playing, and I'm trying not to play devil's
Player
advocate.
of the season, Chris.
I know. I think I'm landing at a 9 as well. I do. I just
Why
think.
Why are you arguing with me then?
I just think, fuck. Imagine if he was fit all season,
that has been the story of Sargent's.
And actually, Borja Sainz ended up with probably, I think 3 more goals. Yeah, I think 3 more goals.
Josh Sargent,
9.
we're going to miss him.
9, yeah.
Borja Sainz.
This
will be an interesting one. Let us know your rankings down in the comments of everyone, including Vicente Reyes. I think in terms of dispersion here, we're going to see the biggest with Borja Sainz.
Okay.
So I'm interested to hear your thoughts.
Well, in the championship team of the season, our top goal scorer.
Yeah.
Disciplinary issue affected him and affected our team.
Yeah.
And I think because I'm at an 8. I think I'm at an 8. Because if you're saying, well, Sargent was injured, but then for Borja, there was after the discipline issue, there was then the drop off, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Because like all of the players, they weren't in their flow, they weren't in the position, they were low on confidence, they were getting smashed, and it almost didn't matter how many we scored. At large parts of the season, it didn't matter how many we scored because we were an absolute car crash at the back. So I think that's where I'm landing with Borja.
Yeah, I'd say a 7.5.
Okay.
That period through October,
but just for clarity, you've ranked him 7.5.
Yeah.
But he's scored more goals than Josh Sargent, who you've ranked a 9.
Yeah, I know.
I think that's unfair.
Yeah, Sargent probably played about 20 less games than him. So during that period, so much fun to watch.
Yeah,
he was
amazing.
Brilliant. Anything he touched went in.
Such a gifted player.
I was annoyed that didn't last, and
trust me, we will miss him when he goes.
Oh no, for sure. Incredibly talented player.
Yeah.
For that 2 months was Championship's best player by a long way. At one point, I was like, this guy's going to score 30 goals this season.
Yeah.
And nearly ended up being the championship's top goal scorer.
Yes.
Look, very, very talented. Just didn't see enough consistency. And to be honest, barring maybe Fisher and Sargent, we didn't see consistency with anyone.
Yeah.
Next up, Lewis Dobwin.
Oh God! Again, imagine if he wasn't injured. I think we'd be ranking him even higher.
Be interested to see if we sign him on a loan again.
I'm going to go. I can't give him as high as Borja.
Oh God!
For the numbers, so I think I'm going to. But I like him. I think I'm going to give him a 7.
Yeah.
I want to give him more though.
7 based on his fitness.
It's just the injury.
Yeah.
Such a shame.
Yeah. Nice kind of finisher as well, Dobbin. He was very composed when he got into the final third. Again, how many times have we said started well, then got injured? Well, Knapper certainly wasn't saying no.
Yeah, but Aston Villa might.
Yeah, I'd like to see Dobbin back.
Oh, hey, I'd bloody love it.
I'd like to see Dobbin back. I think he was the one player when we started him at right wing where I was like,
I think he wants Norwich as well.
Yeah,
I think he wants Norwich. So let's see.
We've got another non-applicable here, Tony Springer. And maybe even another non-applicable here, Matej Jurisic. Well, should we rank him off the 46 minutes we saw of him?
Yeah, okay. So let's give him a 46-minute ranking.
Fucking brilliant.
Yeah. 9.
Let me just remind me of what he looks like.
Against Hull away.
What's going?
No, I'll be. I don't know. But I'm gonna rank him.
We can't
a 6.
We saw him for 40 minutes since January.
I'll have to give him a 4.
It's a non-applicable.
I have to give him a 4. No, he's applicable because he's had. Well, yeah, good point. It's a non-applicable.
It's
a non-applicable.
Love.
Yeah.
To start a job, and 6 months in, still not be working, and just say to my boss, I'm getting up to speed.
Right, I think, but I think I'm not happy with that.
I'm being a bit silly.
You are, and actually, you're not helping. You're not helping the situation.
Okay.
I'm calling for patience, and I'm really excited to see Matej Jurisic next season. I agree with Knapper. He is going to be like a new signing.
Well,
I think he's going to start. Yeah. I think he's going to be brilliant. I really do. I'm so optimistic about Matej. And I think we need to be incredibly careful. There's lots of talk around, just some of the stuff is really out of order. Let's give the young kid from abroad a bit more time, please.
Okay. Ante Sinat.
Oh wow, quite high actually for me. But again, if I've given Borja a 7.5, I'm gonna have to give Ante a 7.3.
Okay.
Slightly below Borja, obviously numbers wise, but in terms of contributions,
Yeah. Wasn't bad of him.
assists and goals, he over delivered in terms of my expectations of him.
Yeah.
Yep, for me, 7 point that.
Okay, I'm not going to go quite as high. I'll go with 6.8.
Oh,
But I think that's above
it was a bit harsh.
above par.
Bit harsh. Harsh.
Look, I think when given I think he's probably going to be the main man as a number 9 next season, probably.
Well, we're not going to sign a number 9 at
So
Sanchez
I
level,
think,
are we?
and
So
I think
yes.
that, and I think that will help him. I think that will help him. I'm excited to see what comes around.
Me too.
Nats. He impressed me on
Up the
whole,
ante.
this season. Oscar Schwartau.
So excited about Oscar.
Me too.
So excited. I actually feel sorry
Born
for
in
Oscar.
2006.
I actually feel so sorry for Oscar Schwartau this season.
Why?
Because, like, no, not.
Oh God, I feel
not
really
so-
sorry for the professional footballer living his dream. God.
I just mean like he was played in all sorts of positions, probably too many minutes. Were just thrown in. So
dealt with it.
randomly. Yeah.
I dealt with it.
I'm gonna give him a 6.8.
Okay.
I like him. I like the look of him.
Me too.
I like the look of him. I think he's going to be a bloody good player for Norwich City.
Me too. Gabe Forsyth was given a chance very early on, wasn't he? And then just haven't seen him since.
Oh yeah, injury.
It's a
non-applicable.
Frustrating with that because I think he got injured at Cardiff, didn't he? Which ultimately sort of derailed our season.
I like the look of Gabe Forsyth.
And it was like, he'll be out for 3 weeks. Then it was like, he's out for another. And then it was the whole season.
Fucking hell, what's that all about?
Feel sorry for Gabe Forsyth. And then another one, Elliot Miles, who we can't really rank either. So
Yeah.
on the whole,
Excited about Elliot Miles though.
I think we've got our ratings pretty spot on. Please do type out all the players and leave your ratings in the comments. I'm really intrigued to see. Some quick fire questions from Twitter before we wrap up and
Come on then.
and figure out who's going to be our next head coach. Let's have a look.
They're on the notes.
They're on the notes. Okay, fine. Let's have a look here. Time for the questions. Here we go. Let's start with Gabe Sutton. How important do you think it could be to appoint someone with a bit of aura?
Oh, he's dropped the aura.
Down with the kids, Gabe. Nice.
Nice.
Sorry, I'm calling him Gabe Sutton. It's because I've just been saying Gabe Forsyth.
Okay. You can
Gabriel
call him Gabe.
Sutton.
Call him
Gab.
Call him G-Dog if you want.
G-Dog. JHT may have been a very good technical coach, but just wonder if he may have lacked something in terms of leadership. Even someone like Farker, although quiet, exudes confidence, e.g. the wink. I think you're onto something there.
Yeah, no, I do. And actually, funny enough, we've already spoken about it on the pod. We've already spoken to the pod. So yeah, for me, I think the next manager needs to have an aura of respect, of leadership, of experience. Yeah. One of the things that Anel told me about David Wagner, which I always found quite interesting, and is arguably why we ended up in the position that we did, is despite what was maybe going on at the time, there was always an expectation, literally on the changing room wall, of where we were going to finish.
Yeah.
Right? And he always said to me there was an edge to him. So you'd speak to David Wagner and it was like the head teacher. One moment, he's got your arm around you and he's bigging you up. He's your best hype man. One moment, he's piling into you. But that's
good.
Yeah. And actually, it's similar to what Russ Martin said on Gary Lineker's podcast. He said it's quite unpredictable with him, but yet there was just such respect. And I think that's what the next manager. I'm not saying that Johannes didn't have respect, by the way.
Yeah.
I just think
I know what you mean.
Or I think they're onto something there.
Yeah, Gab. Yeah, I think you're right, and I think. Look, I don't know if this is right, but I think if I was like a Shane Duffy or one of the more senior, was I like getting was I feeling all that respect for Johannes? I don't know, maybe not. There was just something about.
Was I going through walls for him? Like I think there's levels, isn't there? Do you know what I mean by that?
I know exactly what you mean.
Are you bleeding for the crest on the front of the shirt? No, are you?
No,
are you?
It's so true.
Because you need to.
Yeah.
And that's what a manager can do.
Yes, Gab, I think the next manager does need to have a little bit of aura, as the kids say nowadays.
Agreed.
All About Opinions, a statement. Ben Knapper deserves credit. He could have gone down the attention and eyeballs appointment with Wilshere. Instead, he knows we need some experienced hands at the helm. It's an exciting summer. Let's just trust the club to get this right.
Let's just trust the club. I love let's just trust the club. I want to trust the club, but I'm a bit like, ooh.
I think, I was impressed with... Look, I think Ben Knapper's an impressive individual. I think he's talented. I think he holds himself very well. I will come back to the point I keep saying. He needs a better team around him. He needs like a CEO or a chairman or something.
Right.
Some form of like just experience. Because I think he's exposed. I think he's really exposed. But from a communication, I think he's got most of the recruitment right so far. Ultimately, everything in this Knapper era does boil down to the next head coaching point. If he gets this one wrong, I don't think the Atanasios are sticking around for too much longer.
Oh, shut
With Knapper.
up. Oh, shut up.
No, I think that's true.
No, I can't see that.
Okay,
Anyway.
so we get the next head coach wrong. That he gets sacked. We finish 15th next season. You think the Atanasios are going to be okay with that?
Yes.
With a 15th place finish?
Not
a chance.
No. I'm just saying they're not going to. I just can't see them getting. Anyway, that's besides the point. What's the question?
It was a statement. Ben Knapper deserves credit.
Yes, because it would have been so easy.
It would have been,
for him to have just hired
Yeah.
Wilshere, and just stuck by his mate, and he
Wilshere
made a big
had a bit
call.
of aura.
Yeah,
There was a bit of aura about
yeah,
Jack Wilshere.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he had the players' respect. That's for sure.
On the flip side, Aaron Fletcher says, I think we could be in for a very tough season ahead. Lots of players could leave / will leave.
Yes.
New coach and lots of new players coming in, combined with a fan base frustrated after essentially a wasted season.
Yes, agreed.
Lots of pressure on Ben Knapper to get their next
Agreed.
managerial appointment right. I think that's a key thing as well. Patience is wearing thin.
Well, I think,
and I think a wasted season. I was a bit.
It's not worn thin, Jack. There's no more patience.
Yeah,
there's no more patience.
Just on that wasted season, I was a bit like, was it? It was in the end. It was a wasted season. There was such an opportunity this season.
Yeah.
Bristol City in the playoffs, Coventry in the playoffs,
Don't start,
Sunderland in the playoffs. Average. We could, and we should have been there.
Yeah, I agree.
And it won't be as easy next season.
So going back to the question / statement, we are definitely going to lose players, very good players, because of the position we ended up in. And I agree. There's a huge amount of pressure. The pressure cooker is being turned up. And I think towards the end of the season, you saw it start to boil over with boos, with some toxic atmospheres. I hope that won't be the case going to the start of next season. But in order for that to happen, Jack, look, Knapper came out in the media last week. Good. We need to hire a head coach that has those characteristics that we've spoken about, that will command respect, that has leadership, that has experience. So important. We need to sell players that don't value this football club as much as they should. We need to sign players that see this club as a destination, not as a stepping stone.
Nice.
Do you like that one?
Yeah, I did like that one.
You like that one? Does that get you going?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. This is the destination. You have reached your pinnacle.
Anyway, what's the point? So I forgot my point now. But yeah, essentially, there's a lot of work.
There's a lot of work to do,
and the pressure's piling up. So yes, Aaron, I understand why you're concerned.
And I like that you've picked these questions, because I am bouncing between Aaron and all about opinions. I'm like, oh, this is so exciting. There's so much that can go right, and then I'm like, fuck, there's so much that can go wrong here.
Yeah, but do you know what I quite like, Jack? Right? But that's good.
Yeah.
And why do we follow the sport? Bit of jeopardy. Without the jeopardy, there's no joy. Right? And actually, when you're and I tell you what, when you're on the when a boxer's on the ropes, like that, and you're like, okay, what's going to happen here? Is he going to go? Is he going to go? Then twang!
Yeah.
Smashes a right hook out of nowhere and floors his opponent, and you think, God, that was epic.
Yeah.
So I like the story here. I like the story. Yeah?
Yeah.
Pain. Yeah? As I said in this podcast before, hit me harder. Hit me harder. The pain train is here. And we have been smashed by the pain train.
Do you think there's any more right hooks
time
coming?
After time. There can't be. Because the season's
Sargent
ended.
gone, bang.
Science
goes for 8 million.
That's
bang.
That's a good point. I think
Nunes leaves for 4, bang. There's a nose
that's
broke.
a good point. I think we are probably going to receive another 4 or 5 punches actually during the summer. But I quite like that we're on the ropes. Like, come on. Come on. Let's get excited. Yeah, what a bloody story this could be. What an absolute shit show. Yeah, what a circus it's been at times this season. And now we're in the position we're in, and the expectation is on the floor. There's no patience. But what happens if a manager comes in
and just
boom,
works.
fucking rocket ships it.
Yeah. Could happen.
Yeah. Gets their car gets the Norwich City car into the body centre. Yeah, gets a bloody big old exhaust on the back and goes and fires off.
Yeah.
Could happen.
It could.
The dream's alive. And if you go to the body centre,
they will make your dreams reality.
They will make your car dreams a reality.
Yeah, I mean, this summer feels... You know what? Usually when the season finishes and you have a nice little holiday, nice little rest, you feel nice and rejuvenated coming to start the season. I feel shattered.
Yeah, I can't.
And it's only going to get worse.
It is.
There's 2 months of pain ahead.
Honestly, pray for us. Normally we have a rest before the start of the season.
No rest here.
There's no rest.
No.
Sleep when we're dead.
If you think Knapper's busy, look at us.
Trying to keep up with it all.
Look, I think the key messages from this, constant surprises, and I think that will continue all through the summer. That point around patience is an interesting one because it's so volatile, the fan base at the moment. We beat Cardiff and everyone's, Wilshire's at the wheel. And 2 weeks before that, or a week before that, we've lost 5-3 to Pompey and, the pitchforks are out. So, interesting summer ahead. What do you think happens in the next sort of week or two?
Well, hey, by the way, I ain't going to be preaching patience next season.
You just did.
Well, no, but we need a fast start. We need a fast start. It has to happen. Come on. Let's talk into existence. Come on.
What do you think happens next 2 weeks?
I don't know. I don't have a clue. Right? When I do have a clue, I'll let you know. All right? I'll share what I know on social media when it comes my way. I don't have a clue who the next manager will be. I don't have a clue the players that will sign. At this stage, I don't. But I quite like that. Yeah. It's exciting.
It feels like we're going back to sort of 2010, like pre kind of Fabrizio Romano and Twitter, where you would just see, we've signed, Steve Morrison. Oh, brilliant. Steve, where did that come from?
By the way, Plar.
Anthony Pilkins. Oh, I didn't see anything about that on Wrath of the Barclay.
Plar.
Yeah. Let's have a bit of that. Let's have a bit of, fucking hell, Anthony Pilkinson's just signed.
Yeah.
Not re-signing, but someone like him. Let's mix it up a bit.
Leroy Lita.
Yeah, throw him in the mix as well.
The streets will never forget.
Yeah. Chris, great to see you. Thanks very much for watching. Looking forward to seeing all your player ratings down in the comment section below. As we've said multiple times, it is going to be a busy summer here on TNT, so make sure you are tuned in. Have a lovely rest of your week. It's going to be sunny, so stick your sun cream on and drink plenty.
Buy some Lakens.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.